Just kidding. Haven't lost my voice. Good morning, guys. So here's a question for you to answer. How would you fill in these blanks? In 573, the 5 is worth, the 7 is worth, and the 3 is worth. Write that down on a piece of paper or on the side of your math journal, and we'll check our answer in just a minute. Looking at your number, 573, the 5 is worth what? Good job. It's 500. And the 7 is worth what? 70. And the 3 is worth 3. So 5 hundredths, 7 tens, and 3 ones. So if I was to build that number, there's my 500. There's my 7, and my 3. Okay, so this is the value. When it's asking what the 5 is worth, it's asking what your value is. Okay, and us pulling this number apart, 573, we are working on what we know as, you got it, expanded form. Yep. So we've been working on this quite a while. Well, now we're going to transition this and to be able to compare numbers in a little while, but we're going to break some numbers apart before we start comparing. This is a place value mat, and we're used to seeing it where we just have hundreds, tens, and ones. But there's a new section on here, which is what? Can you see that? That's right, thousands. So we're going to be working with place value all the way to the thousands. And before we can move to thousands, we need to be able to know what 1,000 looks like, right? So we can say 100, 200, 800, 900, and the last one is 1,000. This is 1,000. So this is actually, when we draw it, it's actually not a flat, it's a cube. So notice in the picture, it has made it a three-dimensional cube so that you can see that it is not a flat, but it is a cube. So it's important for you to know that in 1,000, how many hundreds are in 1,000? Good job, there's 10 of them. So we're going to be trading around a little bit, building numbers, and we'll want to make sure that you understood that 1,000 is 10 sets of 100s. So after that, just little bit, very small beginning, we want to look at our target, and it says I can compare two numbers and show the value of each number in expanded form. So important words here are going to be compare and expanded form. So we know when we are comparing, we're looking at least two. So if we were comparing numbers, we would use symbols like this. Do you remember that one? Less than, greater than, or equal to. Good job. And we know that expanded form, like whenever we looked at that number, 573, we expanded it out to say 500, and then a 70, and then a 3. That is an expanded number. So we are going to be looking at comparing two numbers, and we're going to expand them, and then we'll be able to write a number model that shows our comparison. Now that we know our math target for today, let's actually take some numbers and expand them and find the values of them. And to do that, we're going to use some based in blocks. So let's look at the number 716. Okay, let's build that number. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's this, my hundredths. And how many tens do I have? 1. And how many ones do I have? 6. So that's what the number looks like, okay? If I was to expand it out and show the value, I would have 700, and then I would have a 10, and I'd have a 6. So that is 716 expanded out. So let's try another one. Let's try a little bit harder one. The reason why I say harder one is because of y. That's right, we have a 0 there. So what does that number look like? That's 200. How many 10s do I have? I don't have any. And how many 1s do I have? There's 6, 7, 8. Throw a blue one in there today. 9. So that's 209. I have no 10s. I call that the harder one because sometimes we forget the 0. We forget what to do with it. But in this case, we know that there's no 10s there. So we're going to be leaving it blank. And so how do I expand that number out? 200 plus, I don't have to put any 10s. I can put plus 0, and then I could put plus 9, but we're going to do the shortcut, plus 9. We just automatically, when we put the 200, then the ones place value, we know that there are no 10s. You can write it 200 plus 0 plus 9. Either one, but Miss Foster likes our shortcuts. We can do shortcuts every once in a while. I like doing those. What about 1,241? Ooh, what does that look like? Ooh, it's going to be a cube, you're right. So 100, 200, 3, 900, 1,000. So there's my 1,000. I'll make it easy for us to tell them apart. 200. 40, and throw blue in there to make it easy to count. 1. That's 241. Okay, and what does that look like when we expand it? All right, we have 1,000. Now here's a little tip. When we have that many numbers in a row, you need to put your comma there because that helps us separate and keeps us all organized in our math. So 1,000 plus 200 plus 40 plus 1. So that is what it looks like expanded out. Okay? All right, that was a big one. If I was to draw that one, say I don't have base 10 blocks, how would I draw that one? Okay, I could draw, here's my thousands place, but remember I told you it's not a flat, so I can literally just draw it off to the side and say that it's a cube, okay? If that's hard for you, you can draw a flat with a big star in the middle. That lets me know that it's 1,000. And then you could say 200, 41. Okay, remember the 1,000 is a cube, it's not a flat. So if you are drawing it on your in your math journal or on a whiteboard or a piece of paper and you can't draw the actual cube, a three-dimensional cube, then you can put a star in it, and that lets me know that it's 1,000. All right, let's look at math journal page. Put my dry erase board away. Let's look at math journal page 230. Okay, and I want you to put TKA at the top of the page. I'm getting my pencil out. Put TKA at the top of the page. And I learned the other day it might be easier if I zoomed in so that you can see me working. See if that works out better today. Okay. I'm going to put my line here to let me know that my camera is only seeing from here to here. That helps, Miss Foster. All right. It says, so we're going to be comparing numbers, and remember when you compare numbers, you're going to be using those symbols. So write each number in expanded form, which is what we practiced. Then write less than or greater than in the box to compare the two numbers. Okay? So we are going to be comparing 325, the example that they gave us, 325, and we're comparing 358. Now these numbers, when you say them out loud, you understand what they are, but when we're looking at them in writing, sometimes we can get confused and flip our numbers, and so that's why we're working with some of these numbers that are close together. So let's write it out. So 325 is 300 plus 20 plus 5. 358 is 300 plus 50 plus 8. Now when you're comparing numbers, you can say these two place values are the same, so I can get rid of those. And then I can look and say, ooh, 50 is larger than 20. So this number starting right here is automatically larger or greater than the first number, 325. So that's what we're going to be working on. Pretty simple. All right, look at number 1. It says 136. Let's expand that number out. So 100 plus 30 plus 6. And the other number is 224. 200 plus 20 plus 4. All right, so looking at this number, automatically this place value is larger, so I know 136 is less than 224. Now it's important for you to realize the way you say it, okay? You don't say 224 is greater than 136 because then you're starting on the right side and reading it backwards. We always start on the left side and read it forward, just like when we're reading in a book. So 136 is less than 224. But you are correct if you were to just say out loud that 224 is larger or greater than. But in this sentence, we have to read the sentence correctly. All right, so let's look at number 2. I'm going to give you time to work on number 2, and then we'll check it. So now that you've completed that problem, let's check what you wrote. Did you write 700 plus 60 plus 5? Good job. Did you write 700 plus 50 plus 6? Good job. And you can, Ms. Foster's already done it because I worked the problem. You can mark out your 700s because those place values match. So we're moving to the tens place value to see which number is larger. And you have a 60, which is larger than a 50. So I know now that this top number is larger than this number right here. And so in the number sentence, 765 is greater than 756. Good job. I'm sure all of you got that right. All right. Now we don't have to expand it. We just have to look at it. And when we look at it, we're just going to go by each number and mark out the things that are the same. Okay. So 503 comparing to 530. Here's our place values. So now 3 is what to 30? Right, it's less than. All right. Ooh, I'm trying to trick you on this one. 147 compared to 417. So here's my 1 and here's my 4. 100 is less than 417. So 147 as a whole number is less than 417. All right, I'm going to move my paper up. Hopefully that matches where we're supposed to be. I'm going to try this. Write each number in expanded form, then write less than, greater than in the box. Ooh, so now we get some place value of some thousands. Okay, so write this number out. 1,583. Write that number out. Would be 1,000. Don't forget my comma because it's a 3, group of 3. So we're doing a little English in our math. Plus 500 plus 80 plus 3. And then my other number I'm comparing is 1,000, don't forget my comma, plus 700 plus 70 plus 1. So now if I was comparing, I both have thousands, but I have 700. So this number, 700, is larger than 500. So this second number is larger. So when I read it as a sentence, 1,583 is less than 1,771. Okay? I want you to do number 6 on your own. I'll put my pencil down and pause the video. I want you to do it and then come back and check it. Okay, we're back. So let's see how you wrote it. Did you write, I covered up so that we can reveal at the very end. Did you write your first one, 2,000 plus 900 plus 40 plus 4? Did you remember to put your comma? Good job. What about the second number, 2,000 plus 900? Ooh, I left a space there. And I lined up all my place values. So I have plus, but I went way over to my ones. You don't have to do that, but it will help you to line them up in your place value. Okay? So now I can say these two cross out because they're both 2,000. These two cross out because they're both 900. That leaves me 44, and I'm comparing it to 8. So did you say 2,944 is greater than 2,908? I knew you did. Good job. So that last problem wanted me to come back and revisit making sure that we're lining up our place values for when you're comparing the numbers. So if I was comparing 1,575 with the number 1,598, we want to make sure that we're putting place value to place value. So you're going to, for this number, you're going to say 1,000 plus 500 plus 70 plus 5. And for the second number, you're going to be saying 1,000 plus 500 plus 90 plus 8. It's like these place values are in columns. And so you can look at them and say, okay, well, those cross out because they're the same value. We can't compare that. And these are the same value, so we won't compare those. And now you see that the 90 is larger than the 70. So in this particular problem, 1,575 is less than 1,598. So when you line up your place values and put them in those columns, it helps keep you organized so that you know each value and that you're comparing the right value between the two numbers for the comparison. So before we end, let's look back at our target. I can compare two numbers and show the value of each number in expanded form. So comparison was the symbols that we use, less than, greater than, and equal to. And we chose the number 573, which was in our math message. We expanded that out. So here's our comparison, and here's how we expanded our numbers, which we've been working on that. But I want to just make sure that all of us feel really good about what we're supposed to be doing today, because that was your lesson. All right. Have a good rest of your day.